Hi, I've got to talk about a very disturbing Australian lawsuit against an Australian YouTuber that potentially impacts product reviewers like myself and also you, the audience and the consumer out there looking for honest reviews of products, because we've got an Australian company, a small Australian company that has filed a defamation lawsuit against an Australian YouTuber called Stephan Fischer here, who runs the AllOffroad 4x4 adventure channel. And he's, had about 50,000 subscribers. He's gained 14,000 since this came to light by the looks of it. So Stephan is a retired Australian guy who he's been documenting all his 4x4 adventures as he goes around Australia in the deep outback, and really great looking videos. So if you're into that sort of stuff, definitely give him a sub. His videos are really high quality and look absolutely fantastic. And he's found himself at the unfortunate end of a defamation lawsuit for some product reviews from a company called Deep Cycle Systems, or DCS. And he's had to start a GoFundMe here to actually raise legal funds, which could be up to $200,000. So I'll link it in down below if you want to help Stephan out. Now, obviously, I'm no lawyer, so this is not legal advice whatsoever. But according to the New South Wales Defamation Act of 2005, it's not possible for a corporation to sue an individual for defamation, but there are exemptions to that under the Act, and it basically applies if the company or the corporation has fewer than 10 employees and is not an associated entity of another corporation. And there's actually some precedent for this. Death by Radian, the rise of Google review defamation suits in Australia. And it talks about a couple of cases here. One is Cheng versus Locke here, and I'll link these in down below if you want to read about them. But basically, the corporation won the defamation lawsuit about an individual for leaving a Google review, but the corporation basically only won because they got a default judgment against the individual who didn't bother to turn up or defend themselves in court, which is different to what Stephan's done. So it's kind of like a pioneering case here, but in this case, Stephan is willing to actually take this all the way. Good on him. So you can support him down below if you want to help him fight this, because if DCS Systems win this lawsuit, then it could possibly set a precedent. It could impact, I guess, professional reviewers like myself from actually reviewing products, because we might be liable to similar sort of defamation lawsuits if DCS managed to win this case. And it's not, it's possible. I don't think they're going to win. I think my personal opinion is that DCS are going to lose bigly. So yeah, this is going to be an interesting case if it goes the whole way to judgment here. So anyway, Stephan is documenting everything here. So I'll link in. He's got a playlist here with all of his defamation case updates. He's currently up to his 4th video here. And basically, he has still got the original review videos that he actually did here. Unfortunately, it looks like he's had to turn comments off. He used to have comments turned on, apparently. He mentions all in his videos. And Stephan mentions here in one of his update videos that he has enabled comments on those, but he has to manually approve them because he cannot approve any potentially defamatory comments towards any particular battery manufacturer. But decide for yourself. I'll link in the original review videos here. And yes, the Streisand effect has struck, because everyone's covering this. Lewis Rossman has done videos on this. Look, 850,000 views, 187,000. He just did one like 3 hours ago, 30,000 views. Yeah, the Streisand effect, it's a thing. And many other channels are covering it. We've got the Den of Tools down here covering it, and we've got John Cadigan here, he's covering it as well. And another one down here, Australian 4x4 Adventures, is covering it. So this is a real thing. It's going ahead. Stephan's actually posting it here in one of his updates. Here's the actual District Court of Queensland papers here, and they've already had one hearing or something. But in his latest update, he's saying that him and his lawyers are actually challenging whether or not DCS actually meet the requirement of that under 10 employee things. And apparently there will be another hearing on the 14th of October where the judge might, I don't know, somehow rule on that, or, you know, proceed whether or not to decide to proceed with the case. Because if DCS do not comply with that under 10 employee clause, or whatever other catches there are in the Defamation Act of 2005, then the case should be summarily dismissed, and that's the end of that. And Stephan mentioned that any excess funds, like if the case, you know, folds at some point, then any excess funds will be donated to the Royal Flying Doctor Service. And I can vouch for the Royal Flying Doctor Service. They are a legit organisation, so any excess funds will go to them, which is terrific. Now, obviously, I'm no lawyer, but my understanding of defamation law, which is pretty widely held, is that you must say something that's untrue, for starters, and B, it has to be done with the intention of you knowing that it's untrue. For example, you can't be successfully sued for defamation if you genuinely believe that what you said was actually, or what you claimed was actually true, and if you can prove that you genuinely actually believed that. So it's not possible to sue someone for defamation for simply being wrong. So even if Stephan, and by extension others, which I'll talk about in a minute, are wrong, and there's nothing wrong with these DCS batteries, then that's usually not enough to actually get a defamation conviction. And the other thing is, it has to be done with malice, with the intent of actually depriving the company of revenue, or you're doing it for personal reasons, or you're just simply attacking the company for, you know, some reason whatsoever. And I've watched both of the review videos here, and I'll link them in down below. I invite everyone else to watch, and I personally could not find anything in these videos that could be taken as any sort of malice or, you know, intent to destroy the company. And it's obvious to me that in these videos, he's genuinely doing this as a public service to everyone, and explaining how his personal experience with the DCS batteries and their support and everything else, which you'll see in the videos, was poor in his experience. It's obviously he's talking about his experience, but in another video, he's basically documenting what his viewers' experiences are as well. And they've had all these, you know, negative experiences about a capacity loss in the battery. And this is what the basically the defamation's all about. Stephan and others, including independent third parties, are claiming that the capacity loss in DCS batteries is greater than what they claimed in their warranty. In many cases, it's much greater. But yeah, he basically documents all these other viewers of his who've had similar experiences. And here's some guy showing that one of the DCS batteries is straight out of the boxes. Had a failure here. It's released the magic smoke, and then it goes on to show various people doing capacity tests and various third parties doing capacity tests, and even how like another viewer and customer here did like an extensive report for DCS on how their products apparently didn't, you know, in his experience, personal experience, they didn't meet the standards, and he's apparently taking them to claims for, you know, like the warranty claim, or however that's done in court, I believe. And then he's documenting, in his opinion, what he considers to be unprofessional conduct from the company, and he's got all the receipts. He's got, anyway, you can watch it. But in none of these videos did I get any hint that this was done for malice or to destroy the company or everything else. In fact, in the same videos, actually doing these reviews, he goes out of his way to actually praise the company and how he had high hopes for the LFP batteries for use in his four-wheel drive. And that's basically what he's done. And basically his evidence is that he's been using these DCS batteries for 3 years in his 4x4 out in the Australian outback, and he's done capacity tests in this time, including a third-party capacity test using a third-party automotive company to also do capacitive testing, and they've had similar results as well. And how the original batteries he put in, DCS claimed, oh, the failures are probably due because they were passively balanced, but then they gave him some new batteries that were actively balanced that should solve the problems. Beauty. And then he tested them again, and after, you know, kept them in there for a year or two, and then they kept failing capacity tests. And then other viewers started contacting him and saying, yeah, I've had capacity problems as well. And then he's documenting all this with what seems like a genuine intent to help everyone out. So, yeah, it's just unbelievable. Now, Deep Cycle Systems, here's their website here. You know, they make many claims and they sound very impressive. Like they've gone to, you know, all their battery tech. They talk about, oh, how they've designed a new BMS, and they're boasting about on their technology page here. They got robust, they developed these robust high performance things, developed their own BMS systems. Look at this, right? So here's a typical Chinese design, 100 amp 4-cell BMS design and everything. And this is their one. They're boasting about how great it is and how they have like individual cell management and all sorts of stuff, and passive balancing, which they originally provide to Stephan, a passively balanced one, and then he had capacity issues with that, and then they upgraded him to a actively managed BMS, their latest technology, and he still had problems with it. But look, you know, they're boasting about everything, how they do military standard vibration testing here, absolutely fantastic, how they design their own PCB hardware. So they're very proud of how robust and fantastic these batteries are. As any engineer knows, like, you can do all the testing in the world, but once you get it out in the hands of customers with manufacturing variabilities, process variabilities, and you get it out into real world in conditions that you couldn't possibly, you know, have tested for, that's the real world testing. And reviewers like Stephan, they're gold mine of feedback for companies like DCS. But it seems like once they heard that, well, these things weren't as good as they thought they were, lawsuit. In fact, if you watch their videos here, they do like impressive testing of their batteries here and how they don't explode, and they put a nail through it. They do the, you know, the big nail test in the battery and stuff like that, and how it did eventually catch on fire, but, you know, it didn't explode or anything like that. There it is. There's some magic smoke coming out because he just put this big gigantic screw through it, you know, and how safe they are and everything else. So, you know, they claim these things are pretty schmick. And these are not cheap batteries. Like, you can pay like a couple of grand for these batteries, and they're designed to be automotive replacement batteries, like under the hood automotive replacement batteries. So yeah, expensive bit of kit. So yeah, these batteries are designed to replace your regular lead acid ones in your car or your 4x4 or your boat or whatever it is. You know, ultra safe, stable, long life, ultra long cycle life, contracted A-grade cell supply, everything else. Like, sounds really good, doesn't it? I mean, you know, backed by a 4-year warranty, right? No worries. Now, an interesting aside is that it's not just Stephan and some other viewers of his and other customers that have had capacity problems, so to speak, with these deep cycle system batteries. The Australian government here, the Australian Renewable Energy Agency, they did like 1.3 million bucks was spent, right, on actually testing the performance of renewable batteries. And I'll link in the reports down here. You can get them. They're all public. And here's their final report here. And you can see that one of the batteries is, Deep Cycle Systems. Let's take a look. Now, I have to make it clear, this is not the same battery that Stephan and others have been testing. This is not a 4x4 battery. This is like, looks like a home storage battery, and they're hooking up to a SMA Sunny Island inverter here. But it's the same company, DCS. I don't know if they use the same cells. Yeah, let's just assume that they're totally different batteries. But let's see what the Australian government actually found by cycling this. And this is their energy discharge per cycle by the DCS battery pack. I haven't seen anything that over the shop before. Wow, even right at the start here, I don't know what happened at 0. Wrong test or something like that happens. So the energy discharge in watt hours here, okay, up to like, you know, 7 watt hours there or something. Look at the variability in this over the cycle time. Wow. And then around about half of the life here, it magically gets tighter like this. But yeah, it's all over the shop. So if the Australian government, presumably they've got, you know, some of the best testing methods available, probably fully traceable and everything else, right? You can do pretty schmick stuff for your $1.3 million budget. And if they're getting results that are just all over the shop like this, then it is granted, it is possible that Stephan and other customers might have measured an anomaly out here for example, and then, I don't know, it might have got better over here, but I'm being very generous there. That's all over the shop. Look, if we compare that to a BYD battery here, look at that, much better. I don't know if that step is there. That's interesting. And then FIMA React, I've never heard of them before, but look, that's pretty tight there. I haven't heard of this one either, but that's reasonably tight. There's a few outliers, but not nearly as much as the DCS battery. Once again, it's not the same battery that Stephan or other people have been using in their 4x4, but it is the same company. And Solex triple power here, look at that, boom, right across there. But there are a few outliers, so that's interesting, isn't it? I'm not sure what's going on there, but yeah, Sonnen batteries, look at that, boom. And then they've done a linear best fit here, which is interesting, of all these different brands. Look, 2, 4, 6, 8 different brands, one of which is the DCS, which is the green one here. Look at the slope of that line. And this isn't just doing some outlier points out here. That's a decent fit. Look at that. The cycle count, look at that. And the estimated state of health, it's dropped at 1,000 cycles, already down to 70%. And I believe their originally warranty claim was 80%, but we won't get into the, the exact details. I don't want to claim anything like that. But yeah, DCS is the standout there. Once again, it's not the same battery, but it's the same company. So yeah, it's not just Stephan and others that have had issues with these DCS batteries. It seems to be like the Australian government too. Now, I won't go into the full details here, but not only has Stephan done his own capacity battery testing, but he initially engaged a third-party automotive company, JS Auto Electrics, who did their own capacity tests. And according to Stephan, yeah, they got similar sort of results, and they even stopped using DCS batteries, according to Stephan. And then other viewers seem to be using one of these battery capacity testers, which you can actually get on Amazon here. Now, I don't know about the validity of this capacity tester. If you want me to actually test this, I do have a battery sim. In fact, I've got 2 battery simulators here, so I could effectively, verify the performance of this battery capacity tester. But this is the one Stephan and others are using. But they even had an independent third party actually use yet another capacity tester, which showed sort of similar results. So, and he actually covers this quite comprehensively in his videos. He goes in, exactly tells you which devices he used here, and he actually uses the same Victron charger here that DCS actually recommend over on their website here. So, he's doing the best he can. This, to me, looks like, in my opinion, totally genuine and done in the public interest. Yet DCS want to sue his ass for defamation. Why? And Stephan covers this in his video too, but this productreview.com.au website over here, we have detected a number of positive reviews for this listing, which we suspect have been falsely generated and have the potential to mislead consumers. So it looks like they're claiming that, looks like there's some false positive reviews that have come up on here, and they've removed them. Anyway, that's what they're claiming. They take a zero tolerance approach to fake reviews. And basically, if you go down here and look at reviews from like 9 months ago, way before any of this lawsuit stuff, unfortunately did not pass longevity test, don't purchase DCS under bonnet batteries, the content removed of the lithium world, I guess the rude word in there, 1 star, appalling customer service and products. Yeah, so like, even before any of this lawsuit, the looks like the reviews weren't good. And in his videos, Stephan goes into how, he did initially try to, solve this with DCS, and they sent him some new batteries, and they claimed it was maybe due to the old passive cell balancing technology, but then they sent him new ones with new active cell balancing tech, and it got similar sort of results, as did others. So, So this is far from like just a one-off test using some random, Amazon capacity tester. There's lots of different capacity testers. He even talks about other people have verified that capacity tester. Other people have used them. They've used an independent third-party capacity tester, got similar results on similar DCS batteries. And there's just a lot of stuff adding up here. But once again, in my view, everything he says in these videos, I can't help but think is done as giving his genuine opinion. And he doesn't just talk about DCS in these videos. He talks about other brands and how you should always do a capacity test if you're looking at using LFP technology in your 4x4 battery. Then he talks about, yeah, you should do a capacity test like before and after, and explains, even actually goes through a detailed instruction of how you actually connect up and do your battery capacity testing and stuff. So yeah, like really comprehensive stuff, all done in good faith. So after watching these videos, I'm really at a loss to understand why DCS are going ahead with this defamation lawsuit. Just my personal opinion, everything he seems to have done is been in genuine interest. It's his genuine experience. He's looking out for people, telling people about the issues that he's personally had and documenting the issues other people have had. And it's certainly done without malice. In fact, he's praising the company at several points, you know, in these videos, and how he had high hopes for genuine LFP technology under the bonnet. He seems to have just happened upon a real bad experience with these DCS batteries, and other viewers have mentioned similar things, and he's just documented it all in genuine public interest. Why? I don't know why especially a small company with, well, only small companies can do this in Australia, but especially a small company can waste time, money, and resources doing this, not to mention, like, the Streisand effect is real of potentially just drawing all negative opinion to the company if they just let it be. Or what I would have done if I was DCS, and in fact they did originally work with him and even replace the batteries for him from the, as I said, from the passively balanced to the actively balanced batteries. And I would have continued to work with him and said, okay, look, we will get the exact same capacity tester you've got, and then we'll run a suite of tests on our batteries. I'd want to get to the bottom of this, right? I don't want like potentially dodgy batteries that may not be their fault out in the field, because that, you know, there's big impacts in terms of warranty claims and safety and everything else, right? So as a company, I'd want to get to the bottom of that. So I would have bought one of the same capacity testers and done an extensive suite of testing, and perhaps they might have been able to bring up some sort of anomaly in the actual capacity tester that Stephan and others are using here, and just continue to work with the community. That is absolutely the best way forward, and obviously I've got experience with this. As you know, I've been in this game for 14 years now, and I've famously reviewed products, and I've been not kind in my product reviews, but not once has a company sent me a cease and desist letter or attempted to sue me. In fact, they've worked with me and worked with the community, and you get a much better result. Look at this Agilent scope on its big launch day, right? Its gigantic launch day. I showed it blowing up and the smoke escaping, and I published that, and they went, oh, damn. So a dumb company would attempt to get their lawyers to get me to take down the video. But smart companies, no. They learn to work with the reviewers and go and actually fix fix any problems. And that actually gives them a better reputation, because the community see them giving a proactive response and working with the community and working with the product reviewers to actually help improve the products. And that's what us product reviewers do. That is one of our goals, is to help improve products. There's so many products I've helped improve. And another one, for example, this X-Tech multimeter nearly killed me. It literally nearly killed me, right? Near-death experience. What did they do? They didn't get their lawyers onto me to try and take down the video. No, instead they offered to fly somebody out from their headquarters in the US to my lab here in Sydney to explain how, yeah, the circuit design as I showed in this video is all screwed up, right? how they screwed up and how they're going to fix it. They invited to fly somebody out here and explain it all. Yep, we screwed up, sorry, and we're going to fix it. And that's the way you gain community trust. It's not by doing defamation lawsuits. This is insane. I'm at a loss. Leave it in the comments down below. Why would a company do this? Especially a small sub 10 person company. They don't know how much they earn, but geez, I'm sure they don't have, millions of dollars to just throw around. I mean, this is just ridiculous. This is bad for everyone, including themselves. Anyway, go watch the videos for yourself and Form your own opinion, but my personal opinion, I can't see anything wrong with these videos. Stephan really went out of his way to do a very factual based thing based on his and other people's experiences. He's just documenting it. And there's nothing wrong with that. In fact, it helps DCS system make better products. They should be thanking him, not suing him. And if this lawsuit does unfortunately continue further, then it's probably going to get to the point where they're going to have independent technical experts come in and, you know, rate the validity of all these tests. And well, in my professional opinion, I can't see any problems with the capacity testing that Stephan and others have done, especially when there's so many of them. And he even genuinely actioned a third-party company to do independent testing. And then they, on top of that, I believe, had like another independent company actually do some tests using another independent capacity tester. It's just, it's pretty solid. I mean, it's not NADA cow lab level stuff, but geez, it's more than good enough for Australia, let me tell you. He was trying to help you out he wants these batteries to work. He's been wanting these batteries to work for years. He even tried working with you, and your result is you're suing for defamation, and now you're hit with the Streisand effect, and you're just going to destroy your company reputation. So dumb. I don't get it. Maybe they thought that he would cave, and now obviously clearly he hasn't caved, but they're still it looks like they're still going ahead with this thing, and they're going to have to take this thing all the way with LBJ. Otherwise, they're going to this is not how any smart company handles this. I know, I've been doing this for like 14 years, and every smart company works with the reviewers, works with the community to fix problems. It's to your advantage, it's to the community's advantage. You gain a great reputation. This is one way to guarantee the destruction of your company reputation. Even if you win, you lose. Dumbass. So anyway, I've got a big engineering community, so please leave your thoughts and comments down below about watch Stephan's videos. Do you think he's is he genuine? Sure, you could do technically better testing and characteristic curves over temperature and all sorts of things, and you know, but he's already been testing these things for years. Other people have been testing these things for years. The Australian government tested and they've had issues, and what? Anyway, this is nuts. So I'll just leave Stephan's GoFundMe down below, all the links and references down below as well, and check it out yourself and leave your professional thoughts and opinions down below, because I think he did the best job that he possibly can to the benefit of DCS, and this is what they do to you. Unbelievable. Catch you next time.